Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Philly Phone Book, a podcast archive. I am your host, Gideon Carroll McDonald, and with me today is a dear, dear friend of mine, an actor and musician here in Philadelphia. We got Bryant.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hola.
Hi, Bryant.
Hi, Gideon.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Gideon?
I'm all right.
That's so good.
Welcome to the podcast.
I'm glad to
How
be
are
here.
things?
Things are good, senior year.
Senior year.
Senioritis is hitting, but we're here. We're working. We're getting stuff done.
Mhm.
We have things looking forward. So we're just keeping the eye on the positive.
Yay!
Mhm.
Awesome. Let's get into that then.
Okay, period.
I know you very well. We've known each other for a little while now,
Long periodically time.
but the people listening may not.
Mhm.
So why don't you give them a little bit of an intro to who Bryant is, your background, what you see yourself as in our community,
Mhm.
and a little bit of how we know each other.
Okay, so hey everyone, my name is Bryant. I use they, she, he pronouns. I'm a non-binary actor, singer, songwriter, dancer, choreographer. I do the whole shiz.
Boom.
I'm from Philadelphia, born and raised, rep North Philly all the way. None of my South Philly girls, but
All right.
love the North. And me and Gideon go way back, since All City, even though we didn't really know each other.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we were in All City. I think it was our sophomore year. Yeah, it was our sophomore year. Well, you was in there longer, but I came in my sophomore year because junior year was when stuff was happening in COVID. So that was that. So we met sophomore year. Well, we didn't really meet, but I've seen Gideon face before, and so that was kind of cool. I said, "Oh, this is fun."
Mhm.
And then now we met at UArts, and I was like, "Wait, you look very awfully familiar."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh," and then we became friends.
Musical theater majors.
Yep.
At
University of the Arts.
University of the Arts.
R.I.P. girl.
R.I.P. Now both at Temple.
Yes.
How's that?
Love her.
How's that been?
I've always wanted to go to a university, with campuses and different people and different things like that. So I feel like this was such a dream of mine, and I feel like God done blessed me with it, and I'm enjoying it, but I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. So yeah.
I do think the silver lining with all of the closure and going to Temple has been the new experience of it all. Because as great of a conservatory experience UArts was, and how individual it felt.
Yeah.
Having the chance to be at a school like Temple is really nice, especially without worrying about being in college, because now we're just right out the door.
We're so close.
So
5 weeks away.
Yeah.
6 technically if we were talking about graduation, but 5 weeks left of school, 6 weeks left till we graduate.
So true. Oh wow.
Yeah.
And we both did All City Choir here in Philly. What high school did you go to again?
I went to Franklin Learning Center, FLC.
FLC.
And I remember I came to GAMP and y'all were doing Chicago.
You saw that?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know if he was in it though. Was
I
you?
was.
Who'd you play? Wait,
I was one of the core ensemble male dancers. I was in a lot of.
I swear I didn't.
I was in
that
the
was a
Roxy,
long time ago.
The Roxy dance. I also.
Oh, okay.
I was the tailor for Billy Flynn. Very small part, and then I was also the lawyer.
Yes.
Who gets that one girl killed?
What girl? Oh! And is it Act 1 or Act 2?
Act 2, I think.
Act 2.
I was small parts spattered throughout, but I was an ensemble.
I remember,
role.
and my teacher was like, "Hey, we're gonna go to GAMP," and I was like, "What for?" She was like, "We're gonna go see Chicago," and I was like, "Oh, that's fun." And then you guys had a really good production. No shade, no tea. Me and FLC, I think we had some kind of beef with GAMP, but it wasn't bad beef. I think it was just whatever, we can do it too. And
I think that was the case with Kappa also.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of schools like that felt that way towards GAMP purely because we promoted ourselves so heavily.
Yeah, y'all did, for sure.
A musical. We do a musical.
No, for sure.
And I remember being in middle school going to see shows at camp. Like I think they did Shrek when I was in like 7th or 6th grade.
Okay, Shrek.
And my mind was blown. I was like, high
Wow.
schools could do this? And that's why I went, because
Oh,
I
period.
saw them do such a like incredible production because their theater's really nice too.
That's
And they
true.
put so much money into that. Dang.
Yeah. Nope, my school was cheap.
FLC, yeah.
Love her though, Miss
Yeah.
Frank, Mr. Sharp, love y'all down. But yeah, they was cheap,
Yeah.
real cheap.
And so you did choir at school?
Yeah, I started doing choir. I didn't do musical theater. Well, I did my musical theater first there, my first year there, but I was in Pippin. So let me tell you how that happened. So we was doing choir, and then they were like, "Oh, we're auditioning for Pippin," and you know me, I just wanted to leave because, hello, look at me.
You wanted
So
Pippin?
I wanted
You
Pippin,
wanted Pippin.
but I didn't know about the leading player. I just knew about Pippin.
Ah.
So I was like, I just want to be Pippin, da da da. But then they're like how you are to us. Like they did auditions before, like in the spring, and then they'll just do it in the fall.
Gotcha.
So that's how they did at school. They're like, oh no, we already held auditions. They were in the spring, and we just doing it in the fall. It's like, oh, that makes sense. Okay. So they already casted Pippin, and I was like, okay, fine. I guess I'll just be the ensemble. Then somebody just dropped out of the show, and they were playing Theo, and then my teacher was like, "Hey, do you want to play Theo?" And I was like, "Sure." She said, "You get a little solo at the end." So I took that little opportunity.
Oh, cool.
So I sung the little "Where's my love, incredible" part, and that was fun. And that's when I first realized I was like, "Oh, I want to do theater."
Awesome.
And then after that, she's been up and stuck. But I think before that, theater was not in my real house.
Not at all.
No,
Mostly,
not even a thought of.
Like mostly singing?
Mostly like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Beyonce type of feel. Like, give me a record label, sign me, let me produce my own music. Theater was not that. She was not that girl.
Huh. Okay, sick.
Yeah.
Pippin being the first musical is so funny. Because, like, high schools, in my opinion, high schools should not be doing Pippin.
See, yeah, I
They
agree.
should not be doing Chicago.
Yeah, I so agree.
Like, the teen versions are fine.
I don't even think there's a junior version for Pippin.
Is there not? Is it just Pippin?
It's just Pippin. I think Chicago has a junior.
It does.
I think it's Chicago Junior.
Yeah.
But Pippin does not.
That's so funny.
That is so funny. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. And it has a lot of underlying themes in that show.
It does.
That high schoolers specifically should not be doing, since that is a rough time for us.
Because they also wouldn't understand it.
No.
Like, I even look at Pippin now and I'm like, I think I get it.
I love that show down. It's such a good show.
So you grew up in Philly. You've been here as long as I have. You haven't left.
I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go. Oh, so we'll get into that. Why do you think that this city's different than others? Like what has it taught you growing up here? Because like I've asked this question to people that have moved to the city and are like experiencing it for the first time, like while they're in college. And from somebody who's been around the block a few times, what can you speak to with your experience?
My experience with Philly, I feel like it's a very knit community. Like we're very much like we're very close. Like the brotherly love is for real. Like it's not like a phony thing that people say. I mean, if you look on the news, you'd be like, "Oh, they really brotherly love?" Like, yes, we are. You just have to really dive deep into Philly. But like being here, it has taught me love, community, and it just taught me like resilience. Like everybody don't really think of Philly as like the big place of like you're gonna be this big artist, da 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 da. You have to be from like Houston, Texas, or New York City, or Nashville, Tennessee. But when you think of Philly, you're like, oh, like some people off the top of your fingers that are famous, like Kevin Hart and Meek Mills and all these other people. But then I was like, no, I'm gonna change that perspective. Y'all gonna know my name by the time I head out of Philly. But also Philly is just like it's home to me. It's like where I grew up, where I go to church, where I met Gideon and where I went to UArts. So I just feel like not Gideon, oh my God. I just feel like Philly is just such an overall pure love that a lot of people look down upon.
Yeah.
So I've looked down upon it because I'm tired of being here, but it's just like that's because when you've been here for a place for so long, you just like, okay, yeah, I still see the goodness of it, but it's like, what else is there?
You want
like
change.
I want some change.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I do love Philly. She will always be home. I will always come back to her.
So where are you planning on going? You
New York, New York, LA, or Atlanta.
mm,
So New York will be for theater, but New York has everything that I want, which is has theater and the record labels that I want to go to, like Epic and Republic. Atlanta has a really, really good music scene. So like they're very big known for their music. People out of there are like huge and famous. And then LA is known for TV. So
mhm.
like, but also LA has big record labels as well. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to go. I'm just
Yeah.
letting God be like where you need to go. And I'm like, okay, Lord, take me, take the wheel.
But for the time being, people can still work with you while you're here.
Yes.
Yeah.
People can work with me. I'm here. Girl, I ain't going nowhere. Call me.
It's gotcha. It's gotcha for a little while longer.
She do.
Well, that's great. Let's get into a bit of your artistic process
Okay.
because you cover a lot.
Yeah.
You have put the multi and multi hyphenate
Stop, Gideon.
100%. So what do you make? And why and how? What brought you there?
Mhm.
And who are some of your inspirations?
Okay, so what I make, I literally just make art. Like it's just
Yeah.
I don't really know how to else to explain it. Like I do theater, I write, I sing, I dance, I choreograph. I do everything. I just like to make art. And
Mhm.
what I do with my art is like I like to tell a story with my art.
Yep.
So like if you look under like the cover of like my Spotify, it'll say like serving love on a silver platter. Like Bryant likes to make music that's for everybody. Like I like to think of my art as a safe space. So
Yeah.
like if you want to like just escape from the world, or if you just want to like move away from the violence of everything that's going on in your life, my music and my art is like this safe space where you can just be yourself.
Mm.
Because I feel like so many we need that, especially now. Like we just need a safe space to just be ourselves. And I want my art to always be like that, whether it's
Yeah.
dance, songwriting, or theater. I want my vibe or my character or something like people are just like, oh, you're just such a unique safe space. Like I can just come to you and feel so like like not trying to be nobody's therapy, but somebody's like gateway to let go. Oh, actually, you know what? I would want to be somebody's therapy. I
Yeah.
want to be able. I actually want people to listen to my stuff or like see my stuff and feel like they have a voice. Like I like to speak
Right.
to those who don't have a voice or who feel like as though they're not accepted into society. So that's like me and like my creative process. Now let's get into that. So let's start from singing and songwriting. Singing, I'm very technical with. Like, I'm very like, how am I going to use my voice in this specific scenario, in this specific genre to help get my point across?
Okay.
Songwriting, it's really I used to songwrite and it was so bad. Like when I say people growth is a process, okay? I was horrible at songwriting and I started songwriting when I was in seventh grade
Mm.
and it was horrible. I thought I could eat that up. Well, at that time, it was good. I was like, yeah, this is so good. Wrote my first album in seventh grade.
Whoa.
Hmm
Like a full album?
Lyrics, instrumentals, everything.
Dang.
She's gone now. I don't know where she at.
She's gone.
She's
No one can
deleted.
find her.
No, if you could pull it up, good luck, girl.
So you grew up surrounded by music, clearly.
Yes, I grew up in the church, very much that. My dad is a singer, my mom is a singer.
Oh
I had
wow.
a famous cousin. She was part of First Choice here in Philly.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so I've been very involved with music. My aunt was background for Luther Vandross and Teddy Pendergrass. So she was and Patty LaBelle. Girl, I can't speak.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Whoa.
she's been like I've been very, very involved with music.
I didn't know any of this. I knew this
Hmm
about your dad.
Yes, my dad is a singer. My aunt, yeah, I don't tell nobody what my aunt does.
Whoa.
She don't. She
She worked with Patti LaBelle?
worked background with Patty LaBelle. She went to England. She went to
Dang.
China.
Wow.
She was touring.
That's so awesome.
She even met the Jackson Five and had a
Whoa.
fan club
At a
that they
fan
were
club?
very noticeable for. Michael would be like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." But she had a crush on Jermaine, so I was like, "Girl, okay, I get that part."
Yeah, fair.
Fair, it's
Fair.
Jermaine Jackson,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So you grew up just surrounded by impressive musicians.
hmm
So were they expecting you to fall into music, or did you just happen
I
to
just
as
happened to
well?
do it. Like my dad is a preacher, so he thought I was going to go to a preacher route, and I was like,
Oh
the
wow.
Lord ain't
Okay.
leading me there. But if He does, then I'll just be there. But no, I just loved music. Like my cousin would tell me all the time that I would either put on three different movies. It would either be Honey, the movie Honey, Dreamgirls, or The Wiz. It would only be those three.
Mm.
She'll be like, I'll come over to the house and my cousin will be there, my mom and dad. I'll be like, put on Honey. I want to watch Honey. And Honey was like my dance show. Love me some Honey. Jessica, girl, you ate that up, honey. And The Wiz was my first ever. I didn't even know those were musicals. I just knew they were movies. So I didn't know Dreamgirls was a musical. Did not know The Wiz was a musical. I just knew they were movies and they
Yeah.
had music in them, and I loved it. And so ever since I watched those three things, I was like, I knew what I wanted to do. And then my parents knew. They were like, he wants to do big things. And I do.
Yeah.
I do.
You do.
I don't want to be confined into a box. So yeah.
And so you learned this about yourself early on,
Mm-hmm.
which then led you to just start writing on your own?
Mm-hmm. So my friend Nigel actually got me into songwriting. I remember in seventh grade, I would like, I was like, I just want people to write songs for me, like how Whitney Houston was. I would want people to write songs for me, and then I would just sing the songs down, and like people would just be like, "Oh my god!" Like I'm like, "Yeah, duh." But then my friend was like, "No, child, you should write your own music," and I was like, "I don't really know how to do that." And so they taught me how to like write lyrics, how to do this and everything. So Nigel, I shout out to you, baby, because you taught me how to write these music, and
Oh, that's
now
awesome.
now I write music and it's like people just be like, your penmanship is crazy. And I'm like, y'all, it really is just a process. Like I just been doing this for so
It
long.
takes time.
It do. It's like to the point where my music is like theater. Like you listen to it and it's like each song has a character. But you would never know that. You would just think, oh my God, it's so good. But like if you really like if an MT was to study one of my songs, it would be, oh, that was a character. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And so you approach each song like a story? Like you
Yeah.
give story to it?
Mhm. Each song was a story about my life, or it was a story about somebody else's life.
Mhm.
I know I wrote a couple songs about somebody else's life, and I would just put a fake character into it.
Mm.
I even like in eighth grade wrote my own version of The Wizard of Oz.
Oh wow. That's
It was
cool.
really good.
It was
Really
really
good.
awesome.
It was really good for an eighth grader. And my teacher was like, "What are you doing?" Like, I was just on my computer. I would like never focus in class. And I was like, Dorothy gonna say this. I had like stage directions, everything. Like, oh, I
Whoa.
was really that girl. I printed it out and I remember I'm really artistic. So I remember printing it out and sending it to my teacher.
Yeah.
And she made me do it with classmates. And she was like, this is really good. And I was like, thank you, girl. She said, we could fix it, but the other that's really good. I was like, thank you so much. So like everything has just been arts, girl. I don't know about nothing else.
Wow.
Well, that's a lie,
That's
but yeah.
yeah, I mean, clearly this has just been your path.
Mhm.
You've had it set. How did that path lead you to UArts? Because I remember meeting you and I
Mhm.
remember taking classes with you freshman year.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think I even like you said to multiple teachers, you were like, theater's not my thing.
Mm-mm.
Like
Go my
I don't want to do
mama.
this. Like I don't like musical theater was not the plan.
No.
And then I remember like Rob Tucker being like, then why are you here? Then what are you doing? Why didn't you transfer majors? Like why did you
LOL.
decide why did you make that choice? Because UArts also isn't necessarily the common route.
Mhm.
Like I knew so many people that, wanted to do the arts and theater, but UArts was not their decision
Mm-mm.
because of how specific it is.
Mhm.
Why didn't you end up going to Temple?
First of all, I didn't even know a temple existed.
How?
Because
You're from North Philly.
okay. I could be from North Philly and didn't know. I didn't know LaSalle existed until I went up to Mount Airy.
Okay, fair.
So, but Temple wasn't really on my brain. Like, I mean, actually, that's a lie. I did know it
You
existed.
you throw a rock in Philadelphia, you hit
Mhm.
3 Temple
But
graduates.
that's the thing. I never wanted to be in Philly. Like, I wanted to
You
leave.
wanted out early.
Yes.
Okay.
So my goal was UArts was the last. The when I say the bottom pit, like underneath somebody's shoe, she was the last
Whoa.
thing I ever wanted to do. Like,
That's
ew.
hilarious.
My teacher was like, "You should do UArts, Brian. You're gonna be so good at it." I said, "Girl, that's not where I want to go." So I literally I auditioned for University of New Haven. I really wanted to get out of anywhere. So it was New Haven, it was Carnegie Mellon, it was NYU, it was AMDA, and that was it. And then I didn't audition for Carnegie Mellon because I did an early decision for NYU, so I couldn't. So when you do early decisions, you're not allowed to like audition because you will get clocked.
Right.
My friend learned that the hard way, child. She got clocked. So I couldn't audition for nothing else. So I was pissed as all get out. Then next I had UArts, and then I was like, I know I'm gonna get in. Like that was my mindset. I was like, I'm gonna get in. The acceptance rate is too high, number one. So I was like, I'm gonna get in. Like there was no doubt. It wasn't like a cocky thing. I just knew I was gonna get in.
Well, especially the year we applied. Because that was during like COVID.
And they were just accepting people.
Yeah.
Like our class, I think it was like our class at UArts was huge.
It was huge.
It was like 40 something of us. And then it just dwindled.
Yeah.
But plus, like I think our graduation would have been the biggest graduation if everybody stayed. It would have been the biggest they ever had.
It would have been huge.
Huge, because we also had to account for other majors.
Yep.
So our class would have been huge. I don't even think we would have been in academy. I think we probably would have been in the Kimmel.
Wow. Yeah, there's a chance, just because that would
it
have
was
been
so huge.
The influx of people just getting out of COVID, finally
they were like
college.
Accept.
Yeah, they just needed money. Yeah, they needed students.
And so when Rob said, "Why are you here?" I told Rob, "Well, I want to be a singer. I want to dance. I want to be an actor." But none of that had to do with Broadway.
Real.
So I said, I'm just going to take this musical theater thing, do what I want to do,
get
and
the skills.
Split.
Yeah.
Literally, like my dream was to always, it was like, okay, well, since it's going to be a struggle to be an independent artist, and I'm still am an independent artist. I was supposed to be signed to a record label. That was supposed to be like freshman year.
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh my God, we love you so much. We want to sign you." Da 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 da. And then I told them my demands, and then they were like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah, these are my demands," and y'all didn't like them, so they dropped me, and I said,
"That's labels."
That is labels. And they were like, "Oh, I don't think we really have like this kind of income. We're new." Well, okay, I understand that. So like, let's work around it. And I was like, "Hey, let's work around it." They were like, "No, I think we'll be okay. Okay, bye, whatever." And then I didn't really succeed anyway because then y'all like failed.
Oh wow.
So whatever. It was just, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
But Rob was like, "Yeah, why are you here?" And I said, "Well, my goal is to use Broadway to gain a fan base, but also to be on Broadway, and then build my fan base off of independent music and get signed."
Gotcha.
And then if I want to, I can go back to Broadway, or I could do both. I can tour the world, have top selling albums, top selling singles. Like when I say my expectations are here, I have to literally every day be like, "Bryant, take it one day at a time, girl." Because you're like, when I say I want to be the best of the best, I think it's because of who I looked up to. Okay, so inspirations. So my inspirations are Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Adele, Beyonce, Bruno Mars, Ariana Grande, and Stevie Wonder.
Big people.
So those are all big people.
Huge.
You know their names, you know their songs, right? But I can fill those shoes, and I will determine to fill those shoes.
And that's honestly the thing that I love about you.
Oh, thank you.
Is that I don't think I've ever met another person that is so confident that they will succeed.
Oh, thank you.
And like we were even talking about this right before we started the recording, of like, you just manifest stuff.
Yeah.
And you want it to happen, you know it can happen, and that's enough. Which is an energy that you need in the arts,
especially in this career,
because it's such a defeating career.
It's rejection after rejection,
rejections and no's and imposter syndrome. And I remember that interaction you had with Rob, and like seeing how you wanted to use this, theater education as a jumping point, which makes total sense. But I would say now stuff has changed.
Yeah.
And you've grown a lot.
Yeah, oh my mama. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
When I tell y'all, I could not do ballet for nothing.
Oh, dude, me neither.
When I say a triple pirouette, you talking about some what? Woo. Now, when people look at me now, they're like, "Oh my God, you're such a good dancer." I'm like, "Girl, let me tell you something. The hard work and it's really all about hard work. Like people just don't understand. Like this career it is hard work, but it's also like luck and opportunity. Like whenever you decide to like finally like get it together, there's so be so much luck and opportunity. And a lot of it came from like my faith. Like there was y'all thought I was this confident. I really wasn't as a child. I really was like, I don't know if I can do it. Like I'm so nervous. I have bad stage fright. So people would think that, yeah.
You did? Wow.
I wouldn't have done this career without my mom. My mom literally, it was like an ultimatum. She said, if you don't get up here and sing, you're not singing at home.
Whoa.
And she meant that.
Just barred music from your house
She meant
altogether.
that. She was like, if you sing at home, I will pop you. And I was like, oh. So I had to get up and sing. And I would have like people. I would go in a room by myself and just sing, and people would just listen at the door, be like, "You sound so good." I'd be like, "Oh my god, yay!" And then I'll just walk out and be like, "Okay, that was weird."
Yeah,
I had bad stage fright, but yeah. And then on top of that, I couldn't sing.
Just right at the top, didn't know how.
I didn't know what a key was.
Yeah, we all start somewhere.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And I had voice lessons, and then here we are.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Wow," and I'm like, "Yay!"
How long have you been in voice lessons?
Since freshman year of high school.
Cool, same.
So I've been, we've been singing for a minute. We've been singing for about a good 8 years. Mm-hmm. We not new to this. We true to this. It took some hard work and some dedication. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And so your direction with music and using theater has definitely shifted.
Oh, for sure.
With priority, because you are now, you're working in theater and you consider yourself an actor now. Because I remember meeting you and you were like, I'm not an actor.
Yeah.
This is not what I like doing. We did like a studio together and you were like, nope.
I don't do the crying. I used to be like, I don't do the crying. I don't do the serious acting, girl. That's not my cup of tea. I just want to learn the basics so I can get through. But now I'm like, no, this is really fascinating. Now I'm like, now I love understanding a character. I love embodying a character now. Like somebody that is not me. I love doing that now. And so UArts, thank you, girl, because you took me out of my shell, because I never was like that. I was just singer head on. And if I wanted to dance, I mostly was hip hop or like, because I would listen to a lot of watch a lot of 106 in Park when I was little, or like big dance movies like Honey or Step Up. So my mindset was hip hop. Like I know how to do everything hip hop. Like people be like, oh my God, you're so good at it. Yeah, because I watched. But when you're talking about ballet and you're talking about jazz and all this other stuff, UArts, girl, you get a prop because you ate me up. You tore me up. You made me do something that I thought I couldn't do. And so now here we are. Now I'm a serious actor. I'm in theater now. I'm working in theater, working in music, and I love it.
And you love it.
I love it.
How do you approach a character then? Like now let's get into this acting.
Let's get into the Gigiana. Okay, so how I get into a character now. Okay, number one, let's talk about Leah Walton. Love Leah because she taught me how to walk into a character. So I remember when we did our scene together, and and she was really hard on us, but that's because she knew what we could do. And I think we were definitely bull crapping a lot of what we were doing, but also we were like really struggling, but also we were also like, girl, we're tired. And she was like, I don't care if you're tired, you got this, get through it. It was like, okay, girl.
Because that was also during Polyphone.
That was during Polyphone.
And we were both
in Polyphone. You were in what,
shows.
Sweetwater?
No,
or was it Cherry Orchard?
That was Cherry
It was
Orchard.
Cherry Orchard.
Yeah.
And I was in Wits.
You were in Wits.
And we both had some heavy roles to fill. You were one of the leads. I was one of the leads. And we were like lines, dancing, acting. And we were just drained. Everything was just draining us. But that scene shaped me into an actor. And then also it was fun to sing with Gideon, y'all. Gideon is a really serious actor. Let's get into the Gigiana. And she really taught me how to walk. I remember that exercise of like, how would your character walk? How would your character talk? That ever since then has been stuck in with me. So every time I see a new character, I'm like, number one, how do they walk? How do they talk? Are they Bryant? Are they not Bryant? Leah taught me that. Then I get to Mark Wade. Love me some Mark Wade.
I loved Mark.
Love Mark. Mark made me understand the objectives of a character. Why are they saying this line? What are they saying it for? What are the intentions? So now that's what Mark taught me. So now when I put how they walk, how they talk into the intentions, it's now, all right, we're almost there. Then I had to give it to Jameson. Then Jameson taught me
Jameson Foreman.
Yes. So he taught me the emotion context of a character, like the archetypes, and he taught me how, like, what this song represents or what this character is in this moment. Are they a lover? Are they a hero? Are they this? And I still do those archetypes to this day. I'm like, who are these characters and everything? And so every time I start a new show, I get a brand new binder. Well, I don't get a brand new binder. I get a binder and I put some loose leaf paper in it, and then I write on top the character. And then I start writing like their zodiac signs. I do their rising, their moon. I do their birth date, who their mom is, who their dad is. I just like go full in background. So then when I get there, I'm like, okay, this is what I have. This is just the base. Now I want to now I want to find the foundation with the director and other actors to finally figure out who this character is. So by the time we get to tech, I know who they are. So it's not like, that's why I think rehearsal process is to rehearse who the character is, and by the time you get to tech, it's like, oh, I know who they are,
and now you can play.
Now I could play.
Yep.
Because in rehearsals, I don't like to play. I like to rehearse.
Real.
Like I like to. All right, let's rehearse what I have so far. I don't want to play yet. Play for me is like, let's not put it on, but like let's test drive it.
Gotcha.
So like, yeah, that's my creative process and how I do things now, especially as an actor. I'm like, it is so much hard work, and I figured out I need a pen and pencil everywhere I go now. I used to be like, I don't need that. No, and then memorizing lines, that's still a struggle. But once I figure out who the character is, now the lines come easier because now I know how they talk.
Because they're speaking.
Yeah, they're speaking now. So I'm like, okay, so now I know how they talk now. So it's easier.
Oh, that's so cool that our scene with Leah was that moment. I remember working on that and it unlocking a lot.
That was what, sophomore year?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because we
had Mark and Leah the same year.
That was sophomore year, because junior year I didn't do wits. Junior year was cabaret.
Yep.
So sophomore year was when I really unlocked Bryant's potential. Freshman year really flew by my mind because I really wasn't in school for real. I was like working and doing school, so but majority of it was just working. I was just trying to get some bag, some money.
Yeah.
And then I would like acting classes slip. Like my grades wasn't really there for freshman year, and I wasn't really in it. But then something clicked. At like summer break, something clicked and was like, Bryant, we gotta get it together.
Gotta lock in.
Right? We gotta lock in. We gotta get what we need to get done. And so ever since then, I just been whoop.
Awesome. And you also, with your time at UArts, got even better at dancing and expanded your repertoire for that. And consider yourself a choreographer now. How did that happen? Did you just start like, I want to teach people how to dance? Like,
no, it didn't start at UArts. It actually started when I was in middle school.
Oh, awesome.
So I used to praise dance at my church all the time.
Cool.
So I already knew the aspects of dancing. I already like, that's why when people, like when I was in ballet, people would be like, well, you have flingy arms. I'm like, because in praise dance, it's not about technique, it's about emoting. So when I got to UArts, it was, or ballet, it was more like arm straight, boom, boom. And then I caught on quicker because I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. The only issue I had was with my arms. Like a lot of my teachers would be like, your posture and your legs are, but your arms are whack. I'm like, yeah, girl, I know, I gotta work on them. But I remember middle school, I choreographed to I Believe I Can Fly by R. Kelly to the school, and I was like, oh my God, that was so good. You did that. I said, yeah, I ate that up. I would go to rehearsals and be like, hey guys, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it X, Y, and Z. Like I knew what I wanted to be before I knew I wanted to be a choreographer.
Cool.
Yeah, and then when I got to UArts, I joined Ignite, and that was such an amazing opportunity.
Ignite was so rad.
Kayla, girl, hey girl, love you, girl. Alexis, love you. Love them. Ashe, love you, girl.
Shout them all out. Does Ignite still exist at all?
Yeah, they do actually.
Oh, awesome.
They're currently at, so the School of Dance is currently at Bennington.
Right.
In Vermont. Yeah.
The whole
department went.
Yep.
And I'm so proud of them. I'm still connected to them to this day. I still miss them so much. And they're still having Ignite over there. So I'm glad Ignite is still flaming on. And doing big things. So yeah, I'm excited. I love them and I miss them so much.
So would you say that with like praise dance and hip hop and that being sort of your core values when it came to dance and movement?
Yeah.
Does emotion drive your dancing still? Like, would you say that that's what you try to pull from?
I still do. I think it's like both. Sometimes I do like if I have a dance, I just automatically know what choreography I want to do. So
Cool.
like if somebody was to put on a song and I listen to it for like a good 2 to 3 minutes, I'm like, oh, I know the format. So I know what dance I want to do. I know where I want to go. But before then it was a lot of like emoting, and it was a lot of emotions that came through my dance, and I just had to like let it out, let it out, let it out. Like how rock and roll was another way for people to let out emotion, that was another way for me to let out emotion. So it was just like, I just had to like, and it felt
Awesome.
so good, but it's also draining. Like people don't really understand, like dancing with emotion can be draining because you're just like, you're so exhausted at the end. Because when you're letting your emotions fly, your mind is not working as opposed to when you're thinking of choreography. So yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So something I like to ask everybody on the pod is a question that I think gives me everything I need to know.
Okay, period.
Because even if I haven't seen it, I will, and I'll be like, "Oh, that makes sense." What's your favorite film? Top of your head.
The Wiz.
The Wiz. There it is. And I have seen The Wiz, and I'm very excited to talk about that. So why?
Okay, so first of all, it's a phenomenal. Okay, back in the day, there was a lot of backlash with the movie because I did my research. I remember I did it for MT History, I think our junior year.
Yes,
And I did it for MT. You was in that class, and I did it for MT History too. And I did the Wiz, and I did so many background information because that's just one of my favorite. Like that's my dream role is to be the Scarecrow. Like Michael Jackson is just like, you made that role so iconic. It's like everybody wants to do that song now. Everybody wants to play that role.
You would be perfect in that
Oh
role.
my gosh. I remember when me and Felicity auditioned for The Wiz, and that choreography is hard. Jaquel Knight, you ate that up, baby. But we knew we weren't ready. But I just knew that The Wiz has always had a special place in my heart. It's why I wanted to start like not theater, but it's why I wanted to just get up on stage and just perform. Like The Wiz is my parents would get mad. Every day I would just be like, keep playing The Wiz. And people would try to question me. Like I remember when I used to be like Delulu. People would be like, hey, so Michael Jackson plays the Scarecrow. I said, no, he does not. I know everything about Michael Jackson. Da 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 da. And I finally looked at the credits and I said, oh,
he does disappear into the role. Like
very
honestly,
much so.
I mean,
And
even with the makeup and the costume, like it doesn't look like him. But
his voice and his dance moves. And the reason why I realized, I was like, because I remember I was little, I was like, that spin looks familiar.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks like Michael. But no, it's The Wiz is always going to be my heart and joy. Like I know that show in and out, back and up. Like what? You couldn't tell me that. Like if a shirt was turned inside out, that's The Wiz. Like I love it. It's so, anybody ever if my man just happens to one day know I'm in a bad mood and he turns on The Wiz, babe, thank you.
It's a comfort movie.
It is. It's
100%.
a comfort movie. It's just like, oh, the music is so good. It's just so really, really good.
It's such an incredible take on such a already classic story.
For sure.
Because I mean, Wizard of Oz just changed musicals. It changed film.
It definitely did.
And then you flip it on its head and come up with Wiz.
And you get the black version.
Yeah.
That was successful. I mean, The Wizard of Oz was such, like, I just love anything like The Wizard of Oz or The Wiz. Like, The Wizard of Oz wasn't my favorite, but I still love the aspect of like the slippers and everything like that. But like, fun fact, Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz was not supposed to wear movie. She's supposed to wear silver.
Yeah.
So, but the reason they did that, and I looked it up, is because of Technicolor. Because you can't do silver in Technicolor because it's too close to white. So they was like, well, what color shines through from black and white? Right. And they were like, red. And they were like, well, ruby slippers. But I remember I read the book to Wicked, and yep, the mom had silver slippers and she gave it to her daughter. And ever since then, we've had silver slippers. And The Wiz kept it. Thank you, girl. Thank you so much.
That's true. That's true. And I mean, it's a comfort movie for you. Why would you recommend it to somebody else if they hadn't seen it before?
I feel like it's the pinnacle to Black theater. Like, as African Americans, we don't have that many movies about us in a way that's representatory that's not even a word. A way that's representative to like just the uniqueness of Black people. Like I feel like every time we're in a movie or a show, it's either a negative connotation, it's either segregation, it's either slavery. But this movie is just like pure love, just love, and it's funky and it's crazy and it's groovy. It's just like an outer world experience. It's like you could just be Black. You know what I mean?
The characters could just be Black.
Can just
you
be
don't
Black.
need to explain it.
I don't have to walk down the street and clutch my pearls, or I don't have to be called this word or that word. It's like the Wiz is just, I can just be Black. I can be Black. I can be funky. I can be R&B. I can be soul. Like it's like
a celebration.
It's a celebration of color.
God, that's awesome.
Love
I was
the Wiz.
just talking about this as well with somebody else about the process of bringing diversity into like a new work or like a show or a musical or anything. Obviously, wanting to create diverse characters is important.
Right.
But to bring in like a Black character or like a Latino character only to then make the crux of their character be that they suffer?
Yeah, I just don't understand that.
Of their background?
Right.
Like, why? No one who is a person of color wants representation that is purely about suffrage. How being different sucks.
Like, why can't we just be different and accept the difference instead of being different and making us feel like, oh, we're different because of the color of our skin? Why can't we just be us? Like, why can't we just be humans?
Just let the character be Black.
Just let the character.
You don't have to be like, they're Black, but then also people are racist towards them the whole show. It's like, no, we don't need that.
We don't need that. And it's like, I wouldn't say that about, like, people say, well, what about Dreamgirls? Like, I would say Dreamgirls, but like, it's not low key racist, but it's low key like you're being rude to Effie because of her weight.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the stereotypical of like how the whole, like, how Curtis is like, Effie, you're just, like, he said it in a line, you're just mean and getting fatter all the time. It's like, we don't need to diminish another Black person. That's why I'm like, don't get me wrong, Dreamgirls is still that girl, but it's just like, the Wiz is just about excellence, about Black excellence. And like, me, I cannot wait to see it come to Philly. I've got my tickets 2 times because I want to see that show twice. It's such a beautiful, beautiful show. I think that's why I also have it in my showcase, is just because it's just a representation of me. I just want to be Black and excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I love The Wiz.
Oh, love that movie. And musical.
And musical. Yeah, I definitely have to see it. I didn't even realize it was coming. Is it in the like Kimmel circle of shows coming up? Or
yes, it's coming. I think it's in July or June. I think it might be June. July might be a push. No, actually, I think it might be July. I think it might be July.
Cool.
I have to check again, but I think it might be July. Yeah.
Yay. All right. This is a big question. However you take it, that's up to you. But what is your future looking like right now? I think we tapped into it a little, but I want to know what your ambitions are, plans, goals, projects coming up, and like, what are you excited to promote? Stuff that you got coming out soon, maybe like collaborations that you're excited about or want to do next few years for Bryant in the artistic.
Ooh, that is broad, but it's such an in-depth question. Are y'all girls ready? Have a notepad down. Number one, I used, like I told, like before in this interview, I would just have like such a big thing. I had to like tone it down. So every start of the year, I make a vision board for 1 year. Oh, so wow. I make a vision board for 2025, and I'm like, what I want to do in 2025. Not 2026, 2025.
2025.
What I want to do now, right? And so I made a little vision board, and right now it's to, number one, move to New York, to be cast in Kinky Boots. I was supposed to be coming out in the fall, and I want to do it so bad. Oh my God.
Kinky Boots in New York? Cool.
They're doing a non-equity tour, and so I want to be a part of it so bad. And so like, I had just a lot of things on my like graduation, showcase, so many different things I'm like focusing on for right now. Stuff that I got planned coming up. I'm in Rent at the Art Inn.
Look at that.
Hey, I'm in Ensemble. Y'all can come see it. It's May 15th to June 22nd. I think we're gonna have extended dates because the tickets are getting very limited.
Yeah, and the
So
Arden always is kind of guaranteed an
it's
extension.
guaranteed. I think
Yeah.
we're going to go to the 29th of June. So I'll be booked from April to June. So yeah, there's a bunch of auditions that I want to have coming up, but I keep things on a hush because I let God move in mysterious ways. So, but like project and things that are coming up. As you don't already know, I have a debut album out.
Yes, you do.
What is it? 15 tracks, 14 tracks? It could be one of those two. 13, 14, one of those two. And that was a long time coming.
You were talking about it a lot.
Whoa, I was talking about that since freshman year.
I
was
know.
like, I'm freshman year. I worked with these two amazing people, Alex and Josh. And these two amazing people were just helping me like have the visual for the album. And then Alex and Josh left, and then I said, "Well, okay, well, I'm gonna focus on art now." But then I was like, "No, I'm still gonna have the album. I'm still gonna have the album." And I was writing songs, doing songs, and then I got into Shakespeare in Clark Park. And then once I got in Shakespeare in Clark Park, I had vocal nodules, so I wasn't able to. Yeah. Then I got diagnosed with vocal nodules. They weren't bad. They were bad in the beginning. Like y'all, I did not sound like this. But then I got my voice back up and things like that, and then I started recording more again. And then I was like, you know what? We're gonna release this album, and we did, and it's out now. It's everywhere. You can stream it.
It's great. I listened to it.
Thank you, Gideon.
Yeah. It's definitely you. Like it's a lot. Hearing you perform theater and like, granted, not really hearing a lot of your original music previously.
Yeah,
I listened to the song that you released with Shannon.
Yeah,
Shannon Sullivan.
In My Hands.
Is very good.
Thank you.
Much like that one. And I think this album is very true to your style, but also tackles some really cool.
Yeah. Diamonds was crazy. I didn't really want Diamonds on the album, but because it's not me, it's more like upbeat, da da da. And I was like, you know what, girl, we are a multi-hyphenate artist. We're gonna do everything. Why not? And so yeah, there's a lot of songs in there that are like personal, like Gone and Experiment. Like I remember one of my friends when it came out texted me and was like, Experiment touched me so deep because I know what it's like to be a gay person and feel like experimented on. And I was like, yeah, girl. I knew that one was gonna hit the hardest. It hit me in the studio when I was filming it. I said, girl, don't cry, girl. Let's get through this song. But yeah, so that's I love that album. It's my love. And then I'm coming out with another one. It's a cover album, which the first single is coming out tonight. It's The Greatest Love of All, and it's live at UArts. So I recorded it live, and now it's coming on Spotify.
Love a live
So that's the
album.
new one. Yes, love. And I'm working right now with Cheris and Tom on the album. So Cheris is doing 11 songs. Tom is doing 11 songs.
Whoa. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Tom Fawcett.
Yeah. And Cheris Duke.
And Cheris Duke. Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's about to be, y'all not even ready. Tom just sent me Being Alive, which is the next single. And y'all just have to stay tuned. I just don't really know what to tell you. And so yeah, so I have that coming up, and like I said, Bryant showcase, and then I'm just taking it one step at a time. That's about it. Awesome. I'm a book girl.
Yeah, you're booked. You got stuff.
You
got stuff happening. Yeah. Oh, that's so exciting. Well, keep your eyes and ears out for everything Bryant's got coming up.
Yes, I do.
And I will keep everyone updated on that as well.
Yes, please.
All right. Another question.
Okay.
Pretty heavy. To some it's heavy, some it's like quick and concise.
Oh, okay.
How do you want to be remembered?
Well, it is gonna be heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to be remembered as an artist who broke boundaries, but also who made people feel comfort. Yes. Like I want people to know, like, oh, they done this and this, but then like they still kept the comfort and the love of who they are. Like they've never changed. And so that's one thing that I want to leave. Like I want my music to just have an impact. Like each person can know what each song may not be for everybody, but it could be like, oh, I relate to that one song, or I relate to that song, or this song, or 5 songs. And so it's like, that's what I want to leave an impact in this world. And that, I'm a person who likes to spread love and like acceptance into this world. So that's what I want to leave.
Oh, awesome. And it goes right back to your reasoning of making art in the first place.
Exactly.
Full circle.
Full circle moment. Lion King.
Lovely. Lion King.
Lion King.
Lion King.
Love that.
We love Lion King.
We love Lion King.
Do you like those weird live action Lion Kings that they've been making? Because I don't. I just wanted to know your opinion.
Sometimes it's okay to leave stuff animated, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. It's okay.
That's all I needed to hear. Yeah.
It's okay. Now we can make it into Broadway. Yes, that's fine.
Yeah, Broadway's gorgeous.
I mean, it's still one of the longest running musicals, but sometimes it's okay to just leave things as they are. It's okay, y'all. So true. Sometimes we need a remake. Sometimes we don't.
Sometimes we don't. Most of the time we don't.
Most of the time we for sure do not.
Well, I think that just about wraps up our conversation. This was lovely, Bryant.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gideon, for having me. I'm so delightful.
Of course. Before you go, 2 questions.
Yes.
I want this podcast to be ever growing.
Yes.
I want to share as many people as I can.
Fruitful.
Give as many platforms as I can to artists here in Philly. And with that, I want to meet more people.
Oh, I got you.
So if you've got somebody you could recommend,
I got you.
Who do you think would be a wonderful episode?
I have my friend Janae, my friend Nika, my friend Nari, my friend Sydney, Felicity, Asia, Zach.
I got the 3 of them on the list.
Who else do I have? I have some underground artists, Rock, Shauna Moon. Oh my gosh. I have so many friends who are like making so much impact that I think you would love, and I think you would want to hear so much about the creative process. Like they're more musicians, not like actors. But
that's awesome. No, I want anybody.
Yeah. They're still like, yeah. So I shouted them out, y'all. So y'all know.
Cool.
There's more. I just have to give you their links.
Please do.
There's more for sure.
Awesome. So exciting. Well, I'll get on that. You get me those contacts.
Oh, I got you.
And last but not least, why don't you take the opportunity to plug yourself?
Okay.
Where can people find you? How can people listen to your music?
Period.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about branding. So you can find me at The Real Bryant, which is TheeeRealBryant, and that's everywhere. That's TikTok, that's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you'll find me on my website, which is www.therealbryant.com. Yep.
So, awesome. And you got all your contact information there?
Everything is there, y'all. The website, everything has there. The music is Bryant. Well, the music is Bryant, all caps.
All caps.
Yeah. So you can find me anywhere and everywhere.
Yep. Awesome.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Bryant.
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Gideon.
Yay. And thank you all for taking a part of your day to listen to this episode. It means a lot. Share it around. Share it with your neighbor. I'm sure they'll learn something.
Share it with your enemy.
With your enemy? Why not?
Why not? Hey.
We just want to spread love. Yeah.
Spread it around.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for listening. I was your host, Gideon Carroll McDonald. This was another episode of the Philly Phone Book, a podcast archive. Real art is made by real people. Thank your SEPTA drivers.
Period.
And have an amazing day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
That was sickening.
Yay.